Welcome back to Inside the Mind of Dame Unique. Disclaimer, this is the 7th time that I've attempted to record this episode. I don't know why, it just keeps going ridiculously wrong. But in any case, this episode is about introducing a character to your story. An introduction of a character is very key to any story because you can't just bring someone in who's potentially going to be a very poignant piece of the narrative. You can't just bring them in, chuck them in the story and expect the readers to accept them. It doesn't work like that. So introducing a character is a key trait to a successful piece of fiction, in my opinion. One of the ways in which I like to introduce my characters is through use of entering an event. So the event could be anything from attending a funeral, a wedding, the first day at a new job, getting ready to go out on a date night. It could be literally anything to introduce your character, any event. And the focus could be, ideally, a lot of showing rather than telling. So show the readers what the character is wearing, show the readers how the character is preparing themselves for the event. Maybe they're putting on a new shade of lipstick, maybe they're brushing their hair, maybe through brushing their hair and putting it up into a side ponytail, the narrator notices a scar on the back of the character's head, or the character's neck. These things, through introduction, you can show in the introduction of a new character and then pick apart further down the story. I love using events that don't feel like they are a big deal to the reader, or they just feel a bit mundane. So I say event, but a scenario where the character is going to the local supermarket, and for some reason this character chooses to ensure that they are wearing the latest designer tracksuit, trainers, their hair is up in a sleek back ponytail, they are looking like they are going somewhere other than the supermarket. It leads readers to question why. Why would a character go through all the effort for essentially just to go to the supermarket? Or are they going to the supermarket? Is that an excuse to go somewhere else? Who really knows? Perhaps your character is preparing to attend their first day at a new job, and they don't particularly feel like they're cut out for this job. Maybe through the introduction, we find out that they weren't 100% honest on their resume. Maybe through the introduction, we find out that they were only given the job because they knew the manager. Maybe they had already had an affair with the manager and got given the job through blackmailing the manager. So a lot can be drawn and teased out from introducing a new character. One of my favourite ways to introduce my characters that I create is through showing their waking up routine. As in, what do they do when they first open their eyes in the morning, or whenever they actually are waking up? Do they go straight into the bathroom? Do they, have a shower, brush their teeth? Or are they rolling over to the bedside table and picking up a half-finished bottle or half-consumed bottle of vodka. What are they doing in the morning? What is their morning routine? What is something that they do automatically and perhaps haven't realised or acknowledged until this moment? What happened the night before? Why is this character stumbling out of bed and tripping up over her own clothing that she wore on the night out? Why is she choosing not to brush her teeth and just to swig a bit of mouthwash around her mouth? Why are all these things happening? There are so many questions through showing a character's waking up routine that you can then build upon at a later stage in that piece of fiction. A difficult way to introduce a character, and it's difficult in my opinion. Remember, on this podcast, all things are my opinion, and there will be a lot of factual information that I'll be using quotes from, academics and so forth. But in regards to the complexity of this form of introduction, I would say that introducing a character through dialogue is very difficult to do. It's difficult for me to do in any case, and those of you that do introduce your character through dialogue, kudos to you. So, for example, character 1. Soph, what are you doing outside? It's freaking freezing. Get back in. I'll put the kettle on. I'll make us a cuppa. Character 2. I just need a moment. My head is throbbing and I just need some space. Character 1. You're so dramatic. Come on in. I'm going to put the kettle on. I'll meet you inside. See you in a bit, Bab. Character 2. I wish people would actually listen to me. Through use of dialogue, you can give the reader insight from an angle of their lives. And it could be a conversation about anything. Maybe two characters are having a really difficult conversation. Maybe the two characters are engaging in a joyful conversation. Who knows? Maybe one character's just singing a really happy song. It could be anything, introducing a character through dialogue. But I would say ensure that the dialogue shown to the readers is something that foreshadows a bigger aspect later on in the story. And yes, I will be talking about the use of foreshadowing and setting up a scene in later episodes. I will do that. I think right now I'm establishing my grounding here on this platform, and I'm trying to find a way of doing things that suits me and leaves me feeling very comfortable. So my apologies, but yes, I will be discussing foreshadowing and the use of foreshadowing and providing you all with some examples of foreshadowing in the future episodes. Another way to introduce a character is through showing their emotion and their actions while going through this emotion. So a cliche one would be an angry character has slammed their front door, they've stomped up the stairs, they've smashed a vase against the wall. That's showing anger. Perhaps another way of showing emotion is showing a character who is determined to become pregnant. Her partner doesn't want any children, and this character is very sinister in sitting on the edge of their marital bed and piercing condoms. Her emotion is just for herself, in the sense where the gain is that she could potentially end up pregnant. So she's being very selfish, but the action is a very sinister action. because essentially she's tricking her partner into having children that he doesn't want. Emotion could be a very happy moment where the characters just graduated. They spent the whole 24 hours on a high, and on the 25th hour, they find out some devastating news that changes the course of their entire life. So introducing a character to any story is key in the way in which you choose to do it. I would recommend that you try at least 2 ways of introducing that same character and see which one works best for your piece of fiction. You might find that you actually find dialogue introduction is easier than writing about the character's waking up routine. Use these tools and tips that I'm giving to you for your own benefit to create the most phenomenal pieces of fiction. Who knows where this could take you? And I hope that it takes you far beyond the universe, beyond the known universe. So for future episodes, a reminder, I will be posting bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. I'm going to focus on a variety of elements that stem from creative writing, such as nightmares, daydreams, sickness, writing about jealous characters, writing about villains, writing about selecting a suitable title, writing about the weather, what to do when you experience writer's block, going through the educational route when it comes to learning creative writing, taking a more informal approach to learning, i.e. tuning into Inside the Mind of Dame Unique. I want to highlight symbolism in the future, surrealism, the use of objects, the use of lists. There are so many things that I'm going to take you through on this wonderful journey, speaking about creative writing tools, tips and tricks. And also the goal is to inspire, the goal is to help and assist. And I hope that everyone who listens to my podcast draws upon some form of inspiration, motivation, and it enhances their determination to write and continue to write. Thank you for tuning in to Inside the Mind of Dame Unique. For more information, and if you're just curious about psychological thrillers, micro stories, and a few short stories, please visit my blog www.dameunique.blog. Thank you.